Okay, this is the Level 2 percentages booklet, and we're going to work through this looking particularly at doing these questions with a calculator. So we'll see how we go about them using them with a calculator and what working we need to write down to do them with a calculator. Okay, so here goes. Question number 2 here. Simon buys and sells second-hand cars. He buys a car for $6,500, then sells the car to Mr. Morris, making a profit of 20%. How much does Mr. Morris pay Simon for the car? So important that we answer the question, but we actually said that we're going to work out how much Mr. Morris pays for the car. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to work out what 1% is. So 65 1%, 65 divided by 100, which is 65. And then we're going to find out 20% is 65 times by 20 to get the profit. And type that in. 65 divided by 20 is 1,300. Now, what's interesting is that the total price is then the original plus what we had. So actually the total price is going to end up at 120%, which is 6,500. That's the 100% plus the 1,300, which is 7,800. And we could have actually done a shortcut at this stage and found 120% to begin with by finding 65 times by 120, which is going to give us 7,800. So if you're happy doing that shortcut method, you could use that as well. Okay, so our answer to part 1, 7,800. How much does Mr. Morris sells the car, making a loss of 35%? How much does Mr. Morris receive for the car? So this is a new question. So now to get 1%, it's 1% of the 7,800. So we 7,800 divided by 100. That's 78. And then we're trying to find 35%. So 35% is 78 times by 35, which is 2,730. And he makes a loss of that. So we actually want to take that away from the 7,800 minus 2,730, which is 7,800 minus 2,730 is 5,070. So we can put that in here. Now you can think about this in terms of in a one-step problem like we did the profit. You can think, well, it was 100%. We're now going to take off 35%, so it's 65% we want. So we could, in one go, we've got 65% is what we want. So we can do 78 times by 65, and then that will give us the same answer. Okay, 5,070. Okay, so if you want to do that directly, you can ignore that 65% and just do it the way we just did it. Okay, but just something different for those people that want to think about it a different way. There we go. Okay, Justin pays 60% for each music track that he downloads. How much will Justin cost to download 15 tracks of music? 16 pence, 60 pence, so 60 times 15 is 900. Okay, so in pounds, Justin pays £6.75 to download a complete album of 15 tracks. How much will Justin save when he can download a complete album? So he's paid £9, so 9, let's leave the decimals out, minus 675 as long as we're consistent. And we're going to use a calculator. 900 minus 675 is 225. So £2.25. Okay, what is Justin's percentage saving compared with the cost of download? So his saving was that. So to get his percentage saving, well, first of all, we see it as a fraction of what he originally played. Okay, so it says compared with the cost of downloading the separate music track. So the original cost is the £9, and that's what it is as a fraction. So on our calculator, we would do 2.25 divided by 9. And then we would times that by 100 to get it as a percentage. It's going to give me 25%. Okay, so there's the fraction, and we do the fraction times by 100. That's 25%. Okay. So, page 2. It costs George £25 to make a model train. When he sells the train to a toy shop, he makes a profit of 65%. How much does the toy shop pay for the train? So it's a 65%. So I've got £25. So first of all, we want to find out 1%. So 1% is 25 divided by 100, which is 0.25. 65% is 0.25 times by 65, which is 16.25, and he makes that much profit. So altogether it's 25 plus the 16.25, which is £41.25. And again, if you're feeling like you want a new way of doing this, you can think about that being the 165%. So you could do 0.25 times 165, and that would get you the same answer. Okay, the shop sells the train for £74.25. How much profit does the shop make when the train is sold? So how much profit? Well, it pays that. So the profit it makes is 74.25 minus 41.25. So no percentages in that question. Just 33. Express this as a percentage profit of the price the shop paid for the train. So it's 33 over shop paid for the train is 41.25, because it tells you to do a percentage of that, the original, and then we times that by 100. So into our calculator we'll type 33 divided by 41, or you can do the fraction if you want, times 100. That equals 80%. Okay, and then there's a rather bizarre sequence question that we'll just have a go at. 43, 42, 40, so we're taking away 1, taking away 2, taking away 3, so I assume we're going to take away 4, so that will give us 33, take away 5, yeah, that seems to work, take away 6, be 22, take away 7, yeah, that works, so the answer's 33 and 22. Not sure quite how that slipped into a percentage booklet, but hey, it's all good maths. Next question. So during 2010, Callum's height increased by 12%. At the start of the year, he was 1 meter 50 tall. Calculate the height at the end of the year. Okay, so he was, so we're going to find out 1% of his height. So 1% is 1.5 divided by 100, which is 0.0. Think about that for a second. And then he's increased by 12%, so we're going to find out 12% is 0.015 times by 12 is 0.18. So what we now need to do is we now need to add that on to the 1.5, and we get 1.68 meters tall. During 2010, Callum's mass increased from 55 kilograms to 59.4 kilograms. Calculate the percentage increase of this. Okay, the percentage increase in his mass. So first of all, we've got to work out what the increase is. So the increase is 59.4 minus 55, which is 4.4. So the percentage increase is then the increase, 4.4, over what it was originally. Okay, it was originally 55. It's always what it was originally. And then we've got to times that by 100 to turn it into a percentage. So into our calculator, we'll type 4.4 divided by 55 times by 100 is 8. So the percentage increase is 8%. Callum calculated his body mass index, correct one decimal place using the... At the end of 2010, his body mass index was 21.1. Calculate his BMI at the start of 2010. At the start of 2010, well, we're just going to use this formula. His BMI equals his mass at the start, which was 55, divided by his height at the start, which was 1.5 squared. And I'm going to type that into my calculator exactly like that. On my calculator, I've got a little fraction button, so I'm going to use that to make it look exactly like that. So I'm going to type in 55, and then on the bottom, brackets 1.5 close brackets squared, and then it looks exactly like that. I press equals, I'll turn it into a decimal, and it gives me 24.4, a little dot over it, which means 24.44444. We want it to one decimal place, so 24.4 is his BMI. And the start. Okay, so shares in Angora Knitwear are priced at 9.27 pence each. Doris buys 850 of these shares. How much does she spend when she buys these shares? So that's 927 times by the 850. Remember, this is in pence, so 927 850 is 78650 pence, which in pounds is 78790. After 6 months, she sells the shares are only worth 792. How much less is each share worth? So each share was 927 minus 72. To get all your 9s and your 2s and your 7s. 27 minus 135. Express this as a percentage loss of the original price. It's always of the original price, so it's a percentage. So it's 135 divided by the original, which was 927, times by 100. So into the calculator, 135 divided by 27 times by 100. Is 14.5631, which to three significant figures is 14.6%. Doris decides to sell 72% of her shares in Angora Knitwear. How many shares does Doris keep? So she sells 72 shares. Well, she's got 850. So let's put 1%. 850. 850 divided by 100. 8.5. She sells 72%, is 8.5 times 72 is 612. And actually we want how many left, so we want 850 minus 612 is 238. Now we could have done that another way. We could have said actually what we want is we want 28%, because that's what's left from 100%, and time done 28% times 8.5. But we'll just do it this way: 238. So the price of a holiday with Happy Holidays is £750. 14% of the price of the holidays are used to buy the airline ticket. So we're getting better at these, so we're just going to do it in one go now. 750 divided by 100, that gets us 1%, times by 14 is going to be 105. So that's, we want the 105 in there, because that is 14%. The cost of staying in the hotel is 465. What is the percentage of the total price? So this is 465 as a percentage percentage of the total times 100. So that's 465 divided by 750 times 100 is 62%. So, yeah, estimate that fits. It's more than half. Yeah, 62%. After paying for the airline ticket and the hotel, Happy Holiday uses 89% to pay for its expenses. The remainder of the holiday is to pay for coach tours. What is the mean cost of a coach tour? He pays for 5 coach tours. So the amount left, well, we've got 750 minus the 105 minus the 465 minus 89. So the amount on coach tours is 750 minus 105 minus 465 minus 91. And that's 5 coach tours. So on average, hence the word mean, you've got to do 91 divided by 5. Which is 18.2. There's money, so it's £18.20. And onto the final page. Mrs. Collins sold a rare book on a website for £60, then she paid a fee of 12% of the selling price. How much was the fee? So 60 divided by 100 to get 1%, times it by 12. Is 7.2, and they don't want the price plus the fee, they just want the fees. The fee was £7.20. Mrs. Collins sold the book to Mr. Hudson. He later sold the book for cash for £87. Calculate his percentage profit as price he paid for the book. So the profit, let's work out that first of all. Profit equals 87 minus 60, which is £27, and we want that as a percentage of the price he paid for the book. So he paid £60 times by 100, so 27 divided by 60 times 100 is 45%. Okay. A map, so this is a slightly random question, but hey, a map has a scale of 1 centimetre to 2.5 kilometres. What distance is shown by a length of 12.5 centimetres on, so 1 centimetre to 2.5 kilometres, so 12.5 centimetres is going to be 2.5 times by 12.5 is 31.25 kilometres. What length on the map is represented by a distance of 22.5 kilometres? Well, we need to work out what we either work out what 1 kilometre is. Yeah, that's probably the easiest. So 1 kilometre is 1 divided by 2.5 is 0.4 centimetres. So that's by dividing, so to get from there to there, I divide by 2.5. So I've got to divide by 2.5, and then once once I've got 1, I just do to get 20. I just times by 22.5 is 9 centimeters. A square with sides 2 centimeters is drawn on the map. What is the perimeter in kilometers of the actual square? So 2 centimeters is 5 kilometers. So the perimeter would be 8 centimeters. So we go around the square, if you imagine. 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters, centimeters, and 2 centimeters. So that's 8 of them. Would be 4 times that would be 20 kilometers. There we go. No percentages in that final question, but there we go. I hope that's been useful.